All right, it's your boy Bud again, and we definitely about to go in on this one. So, what it is that today we're going over the signs, and I know that signs scare people, but these are all of our signs. They got these signs from us, and then they demonize them, and they demonize the information, so we wouldn't go back and fuck with it, and we fucking with it today. So today we're going to be going over the origins of these signs. These are just like the origins, the original symbols, what they come from, what they mean, and we're going to go over some of why they are interpreted in a negative fashion. We ain't going to be on that too much because we've been doing that our whole life. So now we're just here to reveal the truth about these signs, what they mean, who they belong to, and the power behind them. Okay, so the reason why I'm coming out with this information is because the woman has to realize how important she is again. And then that way we can get some order and balance on this planet. It says that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. And that when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And that's because the more intelligent the woman is, the more intelligence she passes to her offspring, female or male. And they severed the families, therefore they can dumb down the woman, therefore they can take control of the woman. And that they have done. And this information hopefully will let the woman know how important she really is, and therefore she should value her information, her intelligence, her education, her man, her children, her society. Okay, the true meaning behind the acronym of Islam. Islam does not mean terrorist. Islam does not mean car bomb. It does not mean Allah. Okay, so Islam stands for I self law am master. I self law am master. And this acronym is represented by these five signs. These five signs are sciences. They're not just signs. And each sign has a multiplicity of sciences that goes to it. And the creators of humanity, when we were created in Genesis, which stands for genetics, when we were created, the operations of Earth and the universe, or the heavens and the earth, were given to us in sciences. And like you always hear me say, right behind these sciences are the proof of God. And we didn't deal in idolatry because we had our sciences that allowed us to know what things are to their fullest extent before it crosses over into the mere spiritual aspect of it. So I'm going to show you guys a picture, and we're going to do a lot of chopping up of this picture. Okay, so the picture says, all hail the great Moabite Moorish woman. Now, using our eyes, we're going to dissect this image, and then we're going to go back to the Moorish woman. First, we're going to start with the signs at the bottom. We're just going to run through them real quick. Just a quick little meaning. Matter of fact, we're not going to run through them real quick because this is what this PDF is about. So we're going to talk about the other things. So using our eyes, what do we see? We see her staff, which is a ankh. We see the number 9, which could stand for 9 ether, maybe. It could stand for the 9 planets that govern the 12 zodiac signs. It could stand for the 9 months that a child is in the womb, or the 90-degree angle that the child is inside the womb. We see the number 13, which could stand for the 13 months in the lunar calendar, which belongs to the feminine principle, which is the woman. We see a child in her arms. That is something that we do see, if you didn't see that. We see a crescent moon with a 6-point star inside of it. And we know that a star is a sun, and we know that a moon is the mother. We see the zodiac signs above her throne. And the words one more time says, all hail the great Moabite Moorish woman. The Moabites are the Moors coming from Moab, coming from the lineage of Lot and Abraham. And yes, we're going to get deeper into it. But I would like to say that all of this is our information. You have Masons and Freemasons that completely copied and demonized their version of it. But our version is crystal clear. And this is why they demonized it, because these are the sciences that'll get us back in alignment. These are the sciences that make people back in alignment. This outburst of intelligence that you see in our brothers and sisters on social media, it's bits and pieces of that information that's starting to resurface. And we're going to go through that right now. The origins of the moon and star. This is the I of the acronym Islam. This is some real important information. I love this information. It says that the banner of the crescent and star, or the flag with the moon and 5-pointed star in its center, is the insignia of the Asiatics, or the Moorish nation. And it's a lot of stars, a lot of flags that we see that has the crescent and the star on it. But it also goes to say that it is the mother of all national banners of the world today, because it is the oldest flag with the Moorish crescent and star that represents the entire human family. So now when we see a lot of what they keep calling Islamic countries that's lifting this flag and raising this flag, now you have a better understanding that, okay, these people still have connections to how the world used to be. And this is why over here in Western media, they demonize just the regular way that they live over there. And we think that we're so advanced and we're not understanding that this advancement is taking us away from God. This is why they don't care for the things that we care for over here. But all in all, yes, it's the Moorish flag, the crescent and star, that is the oldest flag on the planet. And it ties directly back to us. Starting with number 1, it says the moon and the sun. As the moon and sun, the crescent and star represents both the negative magnetic force and the positive electric force. And this is where we get the term electromagnetic from here on this planet. And now we also see where they originate and where they first intertwine with the energy from the moon and the energy from the sun. The second one says woman and sun. As woman and sun, the crescent and star symbolize the great universal woman, the universal womb, or matter in its most elementary state, which generates or produces all forms, visible or invisible. And these forms are the sun principle to balance woman, meaning that the universe itself is a universal womb that does all the creation, as above. And as below, it's the woman that does all the creating here. And this is why we worship her. We don't worship her like that, but you know what I'm saying? This is why we hold her high. So number 3 says, the third meaning is widow and son of masonry. It says in quotes, I am a widow's son in need, indeed, says the Masonic Brethren, simply because when woman gives birth to a male, he is her son. So all males are sons. And since all males are sons, woman can have no husband. She is therefore truly a widow. And once again, I said terrorists, Islam does not mean terrorists. Islam does not mean carbon. Islam does not mean Allah. Islam means I, self, law, am master. And the I of that acronym is represented by the crescent moon and star. And these are some of the surface explanation behind these. There's a hyper multiplicity behind these sciences. So don't be fooled when you're trying to explain something to someone and they're telling you their fears about these signs due to what people have made out of these signs since they left our hands. This slide right here is a lot of supporting information that will support the previous slide. I encourage you to pause the video and get your read on. I will hint on number 4 real quick. Number 4 is when you hear people say that God is a woman, this is pretty much an example of how people with higher esoteric information read the Bible. A lot of this information points back to the woman because the woman, in a sense, is God of this planet. And when the Bible was written, fuck it, I'm gonna give you the numerology. It says that the Bible, chapter 4 of Malachi, verse 2, brings you the sun, the sun, which is also the son, because the universe gave us the sun that you see in the sky, and the woman here gave us the sun that we have now reading this to you. So 4 plus 2 give you 6. And it says that on the 6th day, God created man, which really translates to the 6th week, because it is the 6th week when woman knows whether she's having a boy or a girl. There's more women on the planet now than it is men, because in the beginning, women was having more women than they were having sons, and more to go. So yeah, that's great information. It's a lot of other great information on here. So yes, I encourage you to pause it, get your read on, and keep up with me. Okay, so the pyramid is the S of the acronym Islam. And this is another slide where I suggest that you pause and get your read on. It's a lot of wonderful information. I'm talking about a lot of wonderful information. And a lot of people don't even think that it gets as deep as it gets, but bro, it's a lot of wonderful information. Now, hopefully, this information gets in the hands of the right people. It changes you from the inside out, and we continue to make the world a better place. Remember, they demonize a lot of this information, so a lot of these signs and symbols, you have to continue to do your research on before you go trying to show some people what you know. Understand that a lot of people's minds have been colonized, and it's a lot harder than what you think. So get your read on, pause the video, keep up with me. Okay, so the compass and the square, and this is the L of the acronym Islam. This is another slide that I encourage you to pause and get your read on and keep up with me. I'm aware that these topics are so deep that I can just ramble all day, and this is why I created PDFs, so I don't do that. So, yeah, I encourage you to pause, get your read on. You know, it's gonna blow your mind. So, yep, keep up with me. Okay, the 6-pointed star. And this is the AM of the acronym Islam. Now, before I continue, and this is also a slide that I encourage you to pause and read because it's just a lot of information. But I will like to say this, it is still a multiplicity. There's a multiplicity of what these things mean. There are so many different degrees of knowledge out here. That's just like when you go to school and they give you a degree. There's so many different degrees of knowledge out here. And I want whoever is looking at this to know that we're going over the origins of what these things are. I don't care what the white bud of 150 years ago came up with. I don't care about what Aleister Crowley came up with. I don't care about what none of these folks came up with. We're talking about the origins of this inherited information when it was passed down to us. So, yes, pause it, get your read on, pick up what I'm putting down, keep up with me. Okay, so this slide is a supporting slide for the one that came before it. I am going to read the paragraph over to the right. It says that the symbol of the eye on the pyramid is Allah. And we know that Allah is an acronym just like Islam is an acronym. Allah stands for arm, leg, leg, arm, head. And now remember this now. There's a whole side of the world and they worship Allah. They worship the creator of arm, leg, leg, arm, head. And we know that the woman is the creator of arm, leg, leg, arm, head. So all in all, it says that the pyramid is the self, the I am, and the first monad manifest in flesh and in balance. And the first people of the earth, the Moabite Moorish nation, Asiatics and Muslims. And it says that the hex alpha, which is the six-pointed star, the dual trine, represents the law of duality. As above, so below. The spiritual and the physical. The mother and the son. The hex alpha is sometimes displayed within the fertile crescent, the mother and nation. Because remember, the star is a sun and the crescent represents the woman, which is the mother. And that's where we get the word Mason from, or my son. Okay, and this is the zero zodiac circle. This is the eye of Islam. And this is another slide that I'm going to encourage you to pause and read. Get your read on, pick up what I'm putting down, and keep up with me. I would like to say that these are still surface explanation behind these sciences, and that there's a multiplicity. And we're going over the mere surface origins. So this is surface information behind the origins of these sciences. So yes, pause and get your read on. Okay, and this is the very last slide. I am going to read it because it is a lot of good information, and when it's time to stand on business, I am the guy that's going to stand on it. So I'm here to say that there's a lot of different people that are part of a lot of different brotherhoods and etc. And a lot of them are pretty honest people. Some of them are not. Some of them know what this is. Some of them don't. So you can't just take this information and go and slap them in the face with it because they don't know that they've been lied to. So that's just simply what it is. That's just like when you tell a Christian some real shit, they're going to look at you crazy. So It says, in symbology, the subjugation of the Moabite woman is shown as a circular crest or badge, displaying the head of a sphinx with the crescent of Islam superimposed behind her head. The scimitar sword is displayed behind her head, execution style. It says that the horns of the crescent are pointed downward. The Moabite Moorish star is displayed in red with the horns of the crescent beneath her head. This also symbolized the Moabite Moorish woman as the true key to humanity, and that the Sphinx is the Masonic symbol of the Moabite Moorish woman, metaphysical oneness with the cosmos. This is called the Revelation of Ages. Then and only then will the world of human society begin to ascend to its true quality of humanity and highest civilization order. As long as she is asleep and unconscious, the Moorish nation will be oppressed. What her state of mind and her social condition reflects, so goes the nation. Only she produces both female and male. So we're going to close out with that. Yes, best believe, take this, share it with your people, let them know what's going on. If you got any questions, hit my line. If they talking something crazy outside of this, we can definitely back this up. I only debate with my equals. Everybody else I teach, so I'm not here to debate with anybody. I'm just here to spread information. Yes, I am well versed in this information, and I do this every day. So like, share, subscribe, pass it on, get your read on, pick up what I'm putting down, keep up with me, holla at me.